Hello everybody, I'm Victor Grimblood and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. This one I'm really excited about because it's Inzektors and they're the deck that got me back into the game. I was a point after they were already hit on the ban list, so I've only ever been able to use one Dragonfly, one Hornet. But I'm really excited about this. It's not 100% done yet, but I just really want to get this out there and see maybe what other people thought I could add, take away, stuff like that. I'm just going to get straight into it. First up, of course, you have the one Dragonfly. For people who don't know what Inzektors do, all of the level 4 and below Inzektor monsters have the effect of once per turn you can equip an Inzektor from hand or graveyard to this card, and then it's treated as an equipped spell card. When Dragonfly is equipped to a monster, it just increases that monster level by 3, but you don't do that. When an equipped spell is sent to the graveyard while equipped to Dragonfly, you can special summon an Inzektor from your deck, which is the main point of the entire deck, kind of focuses on the Dragonfly, which is why he's at 1. Next up is Inzektor Hornet. His effect is when he's equipped to a monster, that monster gains attack and defense equal to his attack and defense, as well as gains 3 levels. And you can send this card to the graveyard when it's equipped to a monster to target and destroy one card on the field, which you use with the equipped spells and other monsters to get Dragonfly's effect off continuously, essentially. The top effect of all the low-level Inzektors are non-hard once per turn, so it's once while this card's face up on the field, essentially. So if it leaves the field, comes back, you can equip another Inzektor to it. And Dragonfly's special summon effect is not once per turn at all. Next up is 3 copies of Inzektor Centipede. He's really good because he's the searcher of the deck. All he does when he's equipped is increase the level by 3. But when an equipped card equipped to him is sent to the graveyard, you can add any Inzektor card from your deck to your hand. So like if you need Dragonfly, you can get it. If you need Hornet, you can get it. If you need an equipped spell, you can get it. Anything you need, you can get off Centipede. It doesn't even say it, you can add another Centipede off Centipede if you really want to. Next up is 3 Inzektor Ladybug. This card's mainly in here because when it's equipped to a monster, that monster's level is increased by 2 and its attack and defense raised by its attack and defense with 500, 100. But you can send this card from being equipped to the graveyard to increase the monster's level by 1 or 2. It's mainly, the level modification doesn't really matter in the current build I have of the deck. But the sending it from being an equipped spell to the graveyard instantly is what's really important because it can trigger off the Centipede and the Dragonfly effects. Next is 1 Inzektor Firefly. This is a level 1 monster, which is why it's in here, so I can go into Link Karibo. When a monster is equipped to him, you can see all of your opponent's set spells and traps, or set cards, I believe. Yeah, look at all set cards the opponent controls, so then you can pick and choose what you pop with the Hornet if you equip Hornet to him. And when he's equipped to a monster, it gains 1 level and 100 attack and defense. But you mainly just go into him, if your opponent still has something by that point, Hornet pop, and then Link Karibo. 1 Inzektor Hopper. He's just a level 4, he increases the monster he's equipped to's level by 4. And you can send him to the graveyard when he's equipped to a monster to let that monster attack directly, but only that monster can attack that turn. He's kind of a just in case card. If you absolutely need something, like you don't have any Ladybugs, you don't have a Hornet, and you have a Dragonfly, you can equip this to the Dragonfly to get that special summon off. But then you're probably not going to have a battle phase that turn, because you're probably going to use Dragonfly for a Link summon. And he's just a 1700 monster, so later game, if you absolutely need to, you can just normal summon him, and he's the biggest low-level Inzektor monster. Next is the 1 Inzektor Giga Weevil. He does not have the equipping an Inzektor to him effect, and neither does the last card, Inzektor Giga Mantis. What these guys do is you can equip them from your hand to any Inzektor you control. That's not a once per turn effect. And they have when they are equipped to a monster, the original, for Giga Mantis, the original attack becomes 2400. And for Giga Weevil, the original defense becomes 2600. The reason why you have one of each in here instead of just multiple Giga Mantis is that when they are sent from being equipped to the graveyard, this is the hard once per turn effect, which is why you only have one of each, they can special summon an Inzektor back from graveyard. So they become Monster Reborns. So I'm essentially running 3 Monster Reborns in this deck thanks to these 2 guys. That's it for the Inzektor monsters. The rest of this is essentially, for the monster part anyway, a modified version of my cluster deck. There's the 3 copies of Predaplant Orifice Scorpio. When he's normally special summoned, you can discard a monster, special summon a Predaplant from your deck except for himself. You can only use the effect once per turn. And there's the 1 copy of Predaplant Darlington Cobra, which when it's special summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster like Orifice Scorpio, you can search a fusion or polymerization spell from your deck to your hand except for diffusion wave motion. Then because it's very important to get Orifice Scorpio on the field as quickly as possible in this deck. I'm running 3 copies of not Dandelion, Lonefire Blossom. Because Orifice Scorpio, essentially, if you open 1 copy of Lonefire Blossom, you go through the 3 in your deck, and then you pull out the Orifice Scorpio, and then its effect pulls out that. You get Brilliant Fusion, activate Brilliant Fusion. You end up with 4 monsters on the field, and you get an extra normal summon because of Seraphinite, and then you can make, what's it called? Did I put the extra deck? Here it is, under a cat. And then you can make Saryuja Skull Dread, which gets you more cards into your deck, so you can basically trying to get to the Inzektor play as quickly as possible. Next up, there is the Dinosaur Engine, 2 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. When he's normal or special summoned, you can either add or send to grave a dinosaur monster. Very good for just adding a bit of extra push if you already have your Inzektor stuff. So you don't need that Seraphinite extra normal summon for the Inzektor or the Saryuja extra special summon for the Inzektor. You could always drop him and get plays going from there. Then off of him, you'll normally be sending one of your 2 copies of Overtex Quatalus from your deck to the graveyard. When he's sent to the graveyard, you can search for an Evolution Pill, which is double Evolution Pill in this deck. And if he's on the field, you can tribute a dinosaur, I believe, to negate a spell or trap card activation. Destroy 1 dinosaur in your hand or on the field, and if you do, negate the activation of a spell or trap card. Yeah, it's a quick effect, so it's depending what deck you're up against, this might be the better option to just send to grave and then when you search the double Evolution Pill, summon the second one of them. Most of the time you're going into Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, just because he's amazing at interrupting. He's a huge beater. His effect is to summon him. You don't usually use it, which is banishing 2 dinosaurs from your graveyard. During either player's main phase, you can tribute a monster from your hand or field, which is why it's really amazing. It can include from the hand, which Centipede, in this deck, just Centipede can stack up your hand with a bunch of Inzektors. So you can just tribute them from hand to get his effect off. And when you do that, you can set all of your opponent's monsters. So if you see him going for a play, you just boom, all your cards are set, you can't do anything with him anymore. So it's a really good card, and then it can attack all those monsters and do an insta kill and do 1,000 damage. So it's really, really good and strong card for just blowing out the game. Next is the 1 copy of Armageddon Knight. This is good for both getting the Overtax as well as Hornet to grave. And it's at 1, so you only have 1. The 1 Destrudo, just an extra monster on the field for Link Summon plays. The Trick Clown and Garnet, these are for your Brilliant Fusion. Because Trick Clown, when sent to the grave, take 1,000 damage, summon it, so that's your 4th monster when you activate Brilliant Fusion. Next up is the spell cards. I run 3 Inzektor equip spells, 2 swords and 1 axe. I used to always run the axe because of Mirror Force and stuff, because it stops that from being able to be activated when you attack. But the way the game is now and the way that this deck runs now, I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up taking that out for a 3rd copy of Sword, because Sword is not a once per turn. When Sword is equipped to a monster, it gains 800 attack, and when Sword leaves the field while equipped to a monster, so you Hornet destroy it, you can add an Inzektor from grave back to hand, which usually you'll go for the Gigamantis or Giga Weevil. And Axe gains 1,000 attack, and your opponent can't activate spells or traps when that monster attacks. Which is why, like when Mirror Force was good, that was good, but that kind of changed now. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion, the card that you search off of your Predaplant engine, and then you send your Garnet and Trick Clown to grave to pull out Seraphinite to get that extra normal summon, and make Saryuja to go deeper into your deck. 1 copy of Double Evolution Pill to pull out Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and 2 Fossil Digs for a bit of deck thinning, and in case you need that Overtax, or the Soul Eating Overraptor. Not Overtax. Foolish Burial to get Hornet to grave, to get Dragonfly to grave, because there's also the 1 Monster Reborn. Or you can just send the Dinosaur to grave and search the Double Evolution Pill. And then Monster Reborn is a very, very good combo extender for this deck. Pull back Dragonfly, get a bunch more summons off of it. And then the 1 trap card is the 1 copy of Black Horn of Heaven, just because it can negate Link summons, which is the main thing in the game right now. And I literally just added this in because I realized Armageddon Knight was limited, and I had 2 originally in this deck. So that card is kind of just a last minute addition. So now for the extra deck. It is all Link monsters right now, and it's not a full 15 card extra deck yet. My 1 proxy is Saryuja Skulldread. You summon him very easily, and you always end up using the 4 different names to summon him. So when you do that, any monster that he points to, any monster that's summoned to a zone he points to, gains 300 extra attack. You can special summon a monster from your hand once per turn, which is really good for continuing off with your Inzektor plays, or if you, off of his last effect, draw 4 and then put 3 on the bottom of your deck. If you end up needing this effect to get the Dragonfly or Hornet, then that special summon of the Dragonfly off of his 2nd effect is really, really important. And he's also 2800, so really good card. And then my last level, Link 4 is Borlo Dragon, just because Borlo Dragon. It's a really good beater. Next is Trigate Wizard. This card is really easy to link it up at least 2, and then you get another spot removal, similar to Hornet, except this banishes. It has the battle damage increasing to anything it's co-linked to. And if you can co-link it 3, which you can definitely do in this deck, you can negate a spell trap or monster effect. I believe monster effect. Yes, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate and banish. A really strong card. Sorry about that, I just have an alarm set. Next is the 1 copy of Power Code Talker. Again, this is another card I just added to the deck. Once per turn, you can target a face-up monster on the field, negate that target's effect to the end of this turn, so that can be really good if your opponent has something that, say, can't be destroyed, can't be targeted, whatever. You can stop that effect and then pop it with Hornet. Once per turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, quick effect, you can tribute one monster this card points to. This card's attack becomes double its original attack during damage calculation only. So it would become 4,600, and you can just have a random Inzektor beside it if that is the case. But most of the time, this is to get more Inzektors into grave potentially by summoning this with the Inzektors and having it in the middle zone, because Inzektors can now co-link thanks to all this awesome stuff. Next up is the 1 Nightmare Cerberus and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. These cards are really good because they can help you unclog your hand of just random cards that you've drawn into over the course of the duel. Or like random Inzektors that you've searched off of Centipede, and then you make these co-link to something, ditch it, draw a new card. And they protect your co-links from destruction by battle or card effects. So really good cards. Next up is the 1 Inzektor Piccofelina. This is a really, really important card, but you only need 1 of in the deck, I believe. When it's link summoned, you can discard a card to equip any insect monster from your deck to another insect monster you control. I usually end up using this to equip Centipede with either Gigamantis or Gigaweevil for that Monster Reborn-like effect. Because then you can get your Dragonfly back right away and just continue on going nuts. And then its second effect is once per turn you can shuffle 3 insect-type monsters from your graveyard back into your deck to draw 1 card. So it recycles your Centipedes. So you get them back and you can just keep summoning them off of Dragonflies and just absolutely go nuts. This card is super important to the deck right now. Next is the 1 Underclock Taker. This helps with your extra linking your opponent. Right now I just have 3 Proxy Dragons. These can definitely be taken out. They're just the link left and right card. Super generic, just any 2 monsters, that's why it's in here. The 1 copy of Link Karibo for the Inzektor Firefly, and because that's just a 1 card to finish off your extra link. And then 1 Gemknight Seraphinite because the Brilliant Fusion Engine. And that's it for the deck. If you want to see any kind of combo videos, let me know in the comments. I hope you all liked it. Let me know what you would do to change the deck up. Things that can be improved, things that can be taken out in your opinion. And thank you everybody for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!